Beautiful rebels, good morning and welcome to a fabulous day of rebellion outside the Chiltern tunnel site at West near Denham. We've had an incredible morning here, and as you can see around, we have managed to halt at this site here in West Hyde by blocking all of the entrances to this massive compound. And behind me here is the tunnel entrance that will be born into very soon in the new year, when the massive tunnel boring machines come in and break ground in the Chilterns for the HS2 tunnel to begin that 140-mile stretch up to Birmingham. Own words, extinction is forever. We must act now, we must not dither and delay, and that means we have all deforestation. And he made a pledge to the UN that they would take deforestation out of our UK supply chain. And we're here to expose the lie that is happening at the moment, that is HS2. This is not a project that is consistent with those promises and that pledge for nature, nor is it a project that is consistent with our ability to be able to reach our carbon net zero targets according to the Paris Agreement. Sorry, my words are fuddled because it's been an incredibly early start this morning. We were up at dawn, we were inside the compound with the beautiful, beautiful Red Rebels, and I'm hoping you'll be able to see some footage of that later. And it was incredible to be inside and to see the scale of the absolute devastation that has been happening here. And particularly as I live quite closely, I have seen this site go from beautiful orchid field, wild land and farmland and woodland to this crater of destruction there. So we are here and we're blocking all of the entrances and we're holding up work today. We're not the only ones doing this. There's stuff happening in Covington, there's stuff happening in Euston, and rebels have come out from all country to join us here today. My friend, you were with me this morning.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic morning. Everything went very smoothly, it was beautifully coordinated. The communication between the teams seemed to be really good, and everything we planned went up pretty much without a hitch. And yeah, it just feels fantastic to have halted work all over the site. As Elizabeth said, getting inside was really powerful with the Red Rebels, and yeah, I just feel really proud to be here and be a part of it.
And you really have seen a lot of the disruption, haven't you, Chris? Because you joined us on the Rebel Trail.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What was it like to see some of that?
I think it just really brings it home to you. You can read press releases and you can read articles, and you're like, in your head you're saying, oh yeah, HS2 is a terrible idea. It's not till you go and stand on that farmland in those woodlands and you see what's being done that you really see the tragedy of it, and it really brings it home to you. And, yeah, and then you really feel it, and a lot of us have been inspired by the Rebel Trail. It's brought a lot of new people into the movement and inspired a lot of people to take direct action, because it's when you go and see the destruction that you're really moved to action, I think.
Absolutely, and we realise now that we've come to the point where our time is very short, so we have very little left to do other than take this course of direct action, because it's very clear that our government are saying one thing and something else. So we're inviting you now to do the right thing, Mr. Johnson, and your government, and to honour your pledge for nature, and to honour the fact that you desire to be a greener leader. This is what you aspire to be, and it's a beautiful vision, but you have to on that vision. You have to without dither and delay, in your own words. And the first thing you need to do, as David Attenborough so beautifully reminded us is halt all deforestation. That's not some deforestation. That's not these trees are okay to go because it's okay to have this house here or this train track here or this coal mine here. Halt all deforestation immediately. And the fact that HS2 is tearing its way through 100 woodlands is not okay. It is not consistent with your promise. We are asking you to keep your promise. We have faith in you to keep your promise, and we will be behind you when you do. And if you don't, we will continue to come out and to rise up and to do what must be done to stop this train. There are many, many people here who feel the same way, and we will not have our countryside torn apart like this. We have to realise that we are nature, and until we begin to defend it and to stand for it and to recognise that when this resource is gone, we are gone too. In your own words, Mr. Johnson, extinction is forever. So please, please, join us and all these incredible people that have come out in solidarity today to do what must be done. Honour your pledge and honour the countryside that we need and the land that we need for our future survival. It's not too late to scrap this project. It's not too late to go.
Let's do a little walk around and see what's going on. Who have we got on the tripod?
So can I take you to Mr. Calendar?
Hello, hello. Hi, do you want to show us around this site while we're talking?
Yeah, sure. This is one of the main works gates into the. You've probably heard it all now, but the 135-acre tunnel site for HS2. It's the largest single HS2 compound, and this gate, this tunnel site has, it's undergone a huge amount of work in the last 4 months. So hard to see from this angle, but just around the corner there are these massive concrete factories. Yeah, let's go over. This is a beacon. It's a beautiful object here, and this has blocked this main work gate. So during the week, normally this has got constant traffic coming in and out of it. So it's really wonderful to see it stopped and paused for a moment. So up this here, they're landscaping this, and the train is going to just come across here and into a tunnel that you can't really see. So it's just behind this earthworks here. So eventually they're going to tunnel through it. In fact, you can see it's over where that white sort of crane is down there, and it's going to follow down there. So that's where the train line is going to go. And up here, all this area they've transformed into a concrete factory. So they're casting the 112, 117 slabs of concrete that are going to line the Chiltern tunnel, which comes out sort of the other side, near Missenden. And so a few rebels also went up into the into the site today with the Red Rebels who turned up there, which was really beautiful, and stood on the top of the concrete face and tried to drop a banner that said "Stop HS2," and it's just a really, really nice moment early this morning. We're going to go up to another beacon. So you've probably seen this one is blocking the whole entrance. Tile House Lane. Tile House Lane runs through the compound. Eventually it'll be gone because the train runs through it. But for now, it's still used by local residents of Denham. So Denham Village is up there, and all the residents use this as a way down towards West Hyde and Rickmansworth. And obviously a huge amount of disruption has happened due to HS2 recently. So you might hear some honks in the background. Sometimes people are really pleased with what we've done today.
We say hello to these.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to say hi over here. We're just live streaming at the moment. I'm just wondering, have you been here today?
Not sure, but feeling a lot better. Got some coffee and falafels, and the well-being people are just great support. So brilliant. Excellent.
And why are you doing this?
Why are we doing this?
How long have you got? How long have you got? I mean, foremost, there's a climate and ecological emergency, and this is in no way in line with responding to that appropriately. It's destroying ancient woodlands, irreplaceable ecosystems, and they've admitted carbon emissions are going to be greater than they were before, which was not the plan at the beginning. So it's not in line with our commitment to the Paris Agreement, and it's not in line with anybody's desires really to the environment.
So do you want to tell us about your lock-ons?
Yeah, sure.
Shall we show you? There's a bar across the middle of the tube, and very good at it. And this is how we lock onto it. So we've got a chain around there and a hook there, and that hooks across the bar in the middle there, and I'm stuck. I'll just get back in before the police come pick me up.
And you're protecting it. Hello, how are you doing up there?
Very well, thank you. I'm really excited. I can see it around these and all kinds of different teams come up. And I'm so impressed that you know, that everyone here who's coming out to do what we do here seems to care so much for each other and such ingenuity and passion. It's really lovely to be
So hoping you can hear us here. We've got tripods further down the lane down there, and let's go and see what's going on in the rest of the country today.
Hi, this is Michael and we're here at Cubbington today, and as you can see behind me there are absolutely loads of people have turned out today to oppose what is going on here. The absolute travesty HS2 is inflicting on the road here, Rugby Road. And here you can see where we did have earlier this week a protection camp all along in this land here, this side of the road. And now it's gone. Yesterday I watched one of the trees I'd stayed in felled over there, and today, right now, the other tree that I was living in my time here is being chopped down before my eyes. So not happy, but hopefully we're going to do something about it. So I'm pretty amazed to see what's going on down at Denham as well. I've actually literally been having dreams about those structures since I saw them whipped out against the Murdoch press recently. So amazing to see they're being used against HS2. Brilliant. And you know, I really don't know how they're going to get them out of there. So I think that's work stopped for the day. And unfortunately, work at the moment here in Covington is continuing. And yeah, like I said, we're going to try and do something about that. Let's go speak to some of the people who have joined us here today. There's lots of local people. Covington's got a very active local membership of Stop HS2 campaign, and loads of people as well from Extinction Rebellion. We've recently had loads of XR rebels coming up to Crackley Wood near here to join us, and it's nice to see some of them back here today. What is the phone number on here, guys? No idea. Okay, maybe someone can try ringing it and find out. How are you doing today, guys? Where have you come from today? Right, just get the mic a bit closer to you. I'll do you one at a time.
Leamington and Warwickshire.
Okay, so you're local to here.
Yeah.
So you see this all the time then?
This is actually my first ever protest, but I think my friend's done it a few times.
No, we don't really see it too much around here. We live down the road, probably 20 minutes down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So don't really watch the news either. So
it's just kind of gone over your head until now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Damn it! That's the thing. Like, so many people just don't know about HS2. I think if they did, they'd just be outraged, wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was being scrapped. I only found out last week that it wasn't.
Well, good to see you here then. Thank you for realising just how important this is. And I was going to say, do you know about the 9-month road closure that's going to be happening in Leamington and Sparta now? Is that one of the things that's really like got you?
That's how I found out last week when we drove past it. It was still going on there. I found out a couple of days ago that about the 9-month road closure, which is obviously going to affect a lot of the businesses around there quite adversely. So
this road closure creates an 11-mile diversion for the local community, and it's actually only been announced just weeks ago by HS2. They've only given businesses and local people weeks' notice, and the council no choice in this road closure that's going to affect so many people. I'm sure they're going to keep doing this again and again everywhere, aren't they? So if you've never been to a protest before, if you've only just heard about how bad HS2 is, there's no excuse. Get out there like this guy. Thank you. What's your name?
Ryan.
Cheers, Ryan. And you too, your first ever protest. Thank you. What's your name? Cheers, William. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we've got the Samba band here. Extinction Rebellion. Birmingham, I think.
Rebellion! Hey! Extinction Rebellion! Hey! Extinction Rebellion! Hey!
One of the other things we're trying to protect here at Cubbington, as well as these road trees, the woods at the back you can see there are being gutted right now. And we've been in there, and I thought it looked like a graveyard, to be honest. The trees have all been delimbed. Every single one is marked for cutting, and it's only going to be a matter of time before South Covington Woods is just destroyed. And over there in the distance, you won't be able to make it out, but is the famous Covington pear tree. You can take a nice walk down from the church at the moment to see it, but within days to a week or so, it's going to be gone. This is a 250-year-old pear tree, the second oldest in the country, and it's still fruiting. It is hollow, but it is healthy. And HS2, after 20,000 people signed a petition to save it, said they would move it, and then realised that, as per their own report from 2015, it wouldn't be possible because they left it too late. They could have done it, they didn't do it. Now they're trying to appease people, and they can't do it. So once again, massive fail by the HS2 ecologists. And I'd just like to point out that this road, these hedgerows, these trees, we were living in these on Monday. There's no way that they could have cleared out all of the birds and the animals that have been living in this area, or managed to get them out of here before chopping. And that, in my opinion, is a wildlife crime. Unfortunately, I found out yesterday the wildlife crime police in this area are not trained to attend protests. So that's why we don't see enough of them attending and actually calling HS2 to account on these things. It's a lack of training. So if people could actually put some pressure on their local police to make sure that there are officers who are trained both in protest and wildlife crime, clearly it's relevant, isn't it? So I'm sure I'll see you guys later, and I'll pass on now to the next person.
Hello, I'm not sure I'm live. Oh, hi, hello everybody. Here we are in Euston, where we have gone to various gates and blocked them, and also gone to support Larch. And here we are back at the camp here. We've been to 3 of the 17 gates, and I just want to echo everything that has already been said, everything that you said, Elizabeth. Yes, we absolutely can shut this down. Everything can be stopped now. We don't need to go on with this terrible destruction. It's absolutely insane. And here in Euston, the very few trees that are left in this really busy part of London, HS2 are chopping them down. Larch is in trees, and there's no need for any of them to be chopped down. But that's the story of the HS2 project. There's just no need for any of it. There was never a need in the beginning, and there certainly is absolutely no need now post-COVID. When I came for this action here today in Euston, I parked my car in a car park in Morden, which is by the tube station, and it was empty, and it before COVID was never empty. I would have to have been like hours earlier to get a space. So yeah, people aren't commuting, and absolutely now I think we've all reached a certain tipping point where we're no longer willing to put up with the government saying one thing and then doing an entirely different thing. I think collectively, not just XR, not just HS2 Rebellion, but really across the whole country, we have to come together and say enough is enough. We can see what's necessary, and none of that can be done with the constant lies and corruption, of which HS2 is such a brilliant example. And so one of the things that I don't know if it's in the footage, but it's outside, all of their billboards outside have got beautiful pictures of flowers and trees, etc., etc. And I think it's that kind of corporate lies that we've all reached a point we've had just enough of. So I would like to introduce you to some of the people here. Dorothea, would you like to speak to camera about what exactly is going on in Euston? And this amazing woman has so bravely pushed back the ridiculous destruction of unnecessary taking of trees.
Yes. This has been going on for a very long time, as I'm sure you're aware that this has been going on for an incredibly long time. I mean, back in 2008, we were opposing the ridiculous destruction that would have to be caused for such trivial, unplanned, not even partial rail strategy, sort of rebuilding of a high-speed line that would run trains that didn't fit on our classic lines. And so, nevertheless, they sorted out their funding and they came back, and we responded to 500-page environmental statements, and we organised ourselves into petitioning. But by 2015, 2016, it was quite apparent that they were always just going to steamroller ahead with it. And after 5-7 years of campaigning, the local community groups were exhausted. And so we divvied it up, and I took trees, and somebody else took noise insulation, and somebody else took traffic, and somebody else. And we still meet once a month and talk about where to. And we also meet quarterly with High Speed 2, which is a monumental waste of time, but nevertheless keeps the channel of communication open. So what we were so shocked in January 2018 when they cut down 50 trees in St James's Gardens. They said so that they could dig up the bodies. But, you know, it's such naked land grab. It's all about the profit to be made from the development afterwards. I don't think they even care if they build the track. They just want the development. And it's so distressing. So after they cut down those trees, we knew that they had no morals, no compunction, no understanding of the issues. And we've tried incredibly hard to save as many trees. We fight tree by tree. When it came to the temporary taxi rank, that is just a parking space for taxis. It's not even a real rank. It's not motivated or needed. They cut down 27 trees, but we saved 16 of them. And that was very hard, and we're learning all the time about how to save trees. And so we know that these trees behind other trees that will, the number of trees that will go next.
That is so wonderful, and I'm so thankful for all the help you've done, Dorothea. It's amazing. And I recommend anybody who is coming new to the whole campaign to check out the Stop HS2 website and any of their other channels so that you can help the amazing people that have been fighting this for so long, like Dorothea. Thank you so much. Okay, Vlad. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, and so here is some footage from earlier on of just how rubbish HS2 are. We really do need to get them stopped. Tell everyone, tell your mum, tell your dad, your auntie, all of your neighbourhood, stop HS2. Here we are at the entrance to one of the 17 HS2 sites. Currently blocking the entrance here. Just a small group of us, but it's incredible what a small group of people who love nature can achieve. So here we are with Larch. Hi Larch, who's charging up his charger on this gorgeous sunny day. But oh my goodness, look at the state of these poor trees. that Larch is so bravely trying to save. There's absolutely no reason why these trees are being chopped down. They're not in the path of anything. Look what's happened to them already. And I'm quite sure, without even speaking to those people in those flats, that they would much prefer to keep those beautiful trees outside their windows on this busy, polluted main road. We're in one of the most polluted areas of London, and these beautiful trees were doing their best to give us clean air.
My name is Phil. I'm from St Albans.
And how do you feel about what's happening here today?
It's just very, very depressing. The way the trees here are being chopped down, which is even worse in other areas where you've got actually natural woods, as opposed to London plane trees at the back. And the fact it costs so much money, I believe it's £200 billion, which could be spent to improve the railways across the country and make a much better service, especially away from London.
And what's your motivation for being here in London today?
Now, my motivation, well, is to make a statement as actually being here, trying to do something as opposed to doing nothing, and hopefully we'll encourage more people to take a stand as well, so that we can actually stop this.
Hi everybody, it's just goodbye for now from Euston and back over to all the heroes at Denham. Thank you so much everybody, we can do this, love you!
Okay, I'm ready. Hi, we're here in Denham. Yeah, tell us how it went this morning. Can you describe what happened?
Yeah, for sure. So I had the pleasure of guiding of the Red Rebels this morning, and we went over the fence. We hopped, which is unusual for us as Reds, and we went down to the tunnel that's being dug behind Gate D, where the beginning of the tunnel that's going to the Chilterns. And we were greeted by an awful lot of workers and some heavy plant, and it was a normal working day. It was beautiful. It's nice for the Reds to get out and into nature, but as soon as the woods were full of deer, and as soon as we saw the fence and into this lunar landscape, you could just feel all of the energy drain of you. There was nothing for us to connect to as Reds. There's nothing here. It's been scorched.
So it's going on at this gate. This gate was taken at about 7 AM this morning.
Right, so these beautiful structures, which are now of global architectural importance, were put in at each of the gates. So all four of the gates have got structures in front of them. And while these were being put up, it gave an opportunity for us as Reds to hop in over the fence and get down to the tunnel. And we were gently escorted to there. It was interesting how much people give the Reds distance. They don't know what to do. The Reds are bringing to people's attention their connection with. And when people are confronted by that, they back off. So the guys were coming towards us, and then they were stepping back. The vans come towards us, and then the vans were literally reversing. People are not comfortable with connecting to the dash that they are doing to the things on which they depend. So it's been a beautiful day. I mean, it couldn't have been better for us. We're able to name of this destruction, which is so important to us. All the Reds, some of the Reds also are involved have spent time on the HS2 camps, Let's go and
let's see other people that are on up the other tripod. So we have banners going there, and we're just walking. Not only have they got these structures blocking the gateways, but we've also got two more tripods around the corner here with rebels sitting at the top of them.
And my guess is it's going to be a very long day, isn't it? When these structures were used at Broxbourne to stop the press, they had 12 hours to clear people out, and they didn't. We got to noon, and people just had to climb down because they have no idea where to start those structures because of the way they're constructed. They're such a beautiful innovation in this architecture, and they've done their job. They were built in fields this morning, carried over the road, and we got them all in to every gate. So there's nobody coming in and out today.
So here we are at another one of the gateways. We've got two rebels up the top of the tripods. Hello, rebels! Hi. So how did it go when you were putting this in place this morning?
Well, the police were here before us actually. They were waiting for us at the gate, and there seems to be many more of us than them. So we managed to walk past them, set up structures without too much trouble from the one kind of police. Oh, look at that! It's refreshing to see that we're blocked by terrible polluting HS2 work as possible.
And yeah, so describe what's behind you. It looks like a
scene of ecocide.
Yeah. Huge construction site.
What was once rolling hills, trees, wildlife, habitats, homes for animals is now this construction site.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Hi, so did you get up here at 7 this morning too? How are you doing up there?
A little bit uncomfortable, but it's for a good cause. You know, we're here to make a statement, and we don't want to see the amount of destruction that they're doing to our wildlife. And this is just a small fraction of what they're doing to environment all over the country. 108 ancient woodlands, 693 protected wildlife sites. You know, people have lost their homes, farmers have lost their land, animals have lost their land. It's costing taxpayers roughly 230 million. You know, it's going to potentially contaminate hundreds of thousands of people's water supply. The list goes on and on and on. So that's why we're here today. And yeah, it's great, even if we can delay work for a little bit and be here on the front line and show that we don't want this. People at home can fight, they can write to their MPs, share on social media, and yeah, fight it in court, everything. If we attack it from all angles, then we can stop HS2.
Thank you. So yeah, just give you a quick view. So this was where it was nature and is now a huge construct site. This is absolutely vast to walk around. And I think we're now going to go to a selection of videos from this morning when we took these sites and got the tripods and the bamboo structures up. So we're heading over to the video now. This is an HS2 compound. The vehicles are all lined up, ready to go to work, but they can't get out of the gate today because it's blocked by Extinction Rebellion with a Stop HS2 demonstration going on today. They are not coming out of that compound anytime soon. We're here outside the Chiltern Tunnel portal site where the Red Rebels have just walked through and are witnessing the events happening here. A stunning scene as the sun rises over the decimation of what once was beautiful, beautiful countryside. We're asking Boris to hold true to his pledge for nature, to protect what we all need to survive, to act now. In his own words, extinction is forever. We must act now without dither or delay.
and that means stopping HS2.
Okay, so HS2 Rebellion are here today blocking this HS2 construction site near Denham because we are in a climate and ecological emergency, which means we don't have the carbon budget to spend on massive infrastructure projects. So aside from cutting down the trees, aside from the price of this construction project doubling and getting out of hand, we just don't have the carbon budget to spend for public transport that's going to be ready by 2040. We're going to be in deep, deep trouble by 2040 with knock-on effects of tipping points of the climate and ecological emergency if we don't act now. So we need to change our lifestyle, and we need to stop. We need public transport projects, but not massive infrastructure projects like this.
We're in the gateway of HS2 and we've got this structure up and a climber in place to basically block that gateway.
Yeah, and the police are just arriving. We've got one climber heading up and suspended up here. Can you tell me why you've come down today?
Well, earlier in the year I walked the whole of the HS2 line.
This is an HS2.
Escape of human destruction over there on the environment.
Alone 108 in one fell swoop for a project that nobody along that line wants. Literally every single village or town that we passed through on that route, people came out and cheered and clapped us on. They just do not want this. Nobody who lives along the line wants this to happen.
Thank you very much. They're locked on. Tell me where you are and what you're doing.
Well, we're here today on a lovely Friday morning. The sun is rising, the moon is in the sky, and from my vantage point up here, I'm looking at a moonscape of human destruction over there on the environment. It looks like something out of Apocalypse Now. It is just obscene, the way these people think, the way this mentality of thought, of conquest over nature. You know, these people, they play Minecraft with our fucking world. This is our world, this is not Minecraft. These people want to play Minecraft, go and play Minecraft, but not here.
Thank you very much.
Let's remember our love for this beautiful planet that feeds, nourishes and sustains all life. Let's recall our love for the whole of humanity in all corners of the world. Let's recollect our sincere desire to protect all this for ourselves, for all living beings, and for generations to come. As we act today, may we find the courage to bring this sense of peace and appreciation to everyone we encounter, to every word we speak, and to every action we make. In this emergency, together, rooted in love, we are all we need.
But one of the guys who's local said that before too long, because it's so narrow.
So how's it gone so far? Can you describe the structure?
Yeah, so the structures are made from bamboo and wiring, and they're sort of like really, really high, and we have climbers up them, and like lock-ons at the bottom. So far I think it's went really well. We've managed to block the gates with a little bit of resistance from security, but there's sort of more of us than there is of them at the minute. So.
What's your position to HS2? Why are people campaigning against it?
HS2 is seeking to decimate the closest thing we have to our Amazon. The trees in the ancient woodlands are older than me, and I feel like it is paramount that we stand against this injustice.
Thank you very much. So here we have a bamboo structure. People locked on at the bottom, people locked on halfway up. The gates are currently shut for the HS2 construction or the people who'll be trashing the countryside today are stuck in the compound. Don't think they're going to be coming out for a long time.
I think it's been about an hour. So far. We woke up early this morning and we came here, we built up the structures and then we carried them over to in front of the compound and stay here in protest against HS2. I joined this campaign maybe almost 4 months ago now and slowly learn even more every day how corrupt this project is. 108 ancient woodlands are going to be destroyed, 693 protected wildlife sites, hundreds of thousands of people's water supply is going to be potentially contaminated. HS2 are compulsory purchasing farmers' land, they're compulsory purchasing homes from people. The 75,000 jobs are going to be displaced. People have not been properly compensated. The list goes on and on and on. They are committing wildlife crimes. They cut down trees without doing proper surveys on them. There's bat roosts there, there's badger sets. The destruction here, this used to be beautiful lush woodlands and now it's just piles of dirt. And all for what? It's 20 minutes difference off your journey. This is an estimated at 230 billion in taxpayers' money. Why don't we put that money into the NHS, into current infrastructure and go into more impoverished areas in the country? We don't need this train. We don't want this train. We as the public need to take action and stand against it. So that's why we're here today, to block these gates, stop work for an entire day. There's other people on the other side and just show that we're not going to go down without fight.
Thank you very much. Hi, so I'm just between two of the gates at the moment. That was what was happening at 7 a.m. this morning in Denham. And we're now heading over to Lichfield, see what's going on there.
Hi everybody, this is Kate. Hi everyone, I'm Kate and I'm here at Wood End Lane near Lichfield. We're just a few miles northeast of Lichfield, and this is one of the new locations on our HS2 Stop HS2 journey. And we're here to tell Boris Johnson that we are going to hold him to his word. Extinction is forever. And he said this at the end of September, and it was just a couple of days after they had started sneakily felling trees here in this previously lovely corner of Staffordshire. Anyway, we've been having quite an exciting morning, and what we are doing is showing Boris the red card, showing HS2 the red card, by having a football match in the middle of the lane. And here we go. It's all kinds of chaos happening here this morning. Actually, the morning started with a little bit of disturbance because we had an arrest. Jelly Tot was just standing near the gates that you can see here. He was just standing in front of these gates eating a sandwich, and the upshot of that, eating of his sandwich and walking backwards and forwards in front of the gates, was that he got arrested and he's been taken to Watley Street Police Station. So we hope he's okay. And we've been watching trees being felled. And I'm told that, if you can see up here, just a week ago, this site here was a wood, a forest, and now you can see that it has been completely denuded, completely cleared. deforestation, ecocide, destruction of biodiversity on an absolutely horrific scale, and all done almost without anybody knowing about it. Because, you know, people aren't going out much these days. Local people did not have any warning. This land has been seized from the owners and they've had no compensation. And we know what's going to happen. But what this is really about is, as somebody said before, a land grab and development. So the people who own this land are probably going to have to wait for years and years and years until some meagre houses have been built on these sites, and then they might get a little bit of money. But so far, absolutely nothing. So, how are we getting on with our football match?
Oh, it's going well. I believe it's a score of about 453 to 17 to stop HS2. They're well ahead.
Excellent.
We managed to multiply their goals by a factor of 10, as usual. Yeah, HS2 are struggling hard, but the ball, it's getting quite serious at the moment. Is this?
The pitch condition could be better.
Definitely the pitch. Oh, there's a big throw in there, ready to see if Alison's going to catch you there. Watch out, Alison. Just try and mind the dog. The dog doesn't like to be hit too often. Okay. And it's another goal to stop HS2. Add 10 to their score, 463.
So it looks like a bit of fun going on here, but really, this has got a serious purpose, hasn't it?
Oh yes, yeah. We are giving a red card to HS2 because they are behaving in a completely criminal manner with the amount of ecological destruction at a time like this, in this ecological crisis. We should not be having this level of damage being done to our countryside. So yes, we're just giving them the red card as much as we can, having a bit of fun at the same time.
But it's not a game, is it?
It isn't a game.
It's
absolutely.
dead serious.
Oh, just a minute. The ref. What's the referee doing?
Have a word with one or two of these other people here. I think we've got some drummers come from Derby. Good morning. Yes.
Just being taught how to drum.
Could you just say for me why did you come today?
We're destroying trees in an age of ecological emergency. The trees are taking away the carbon and we're chopping them down. So it's
And the rest of the eco-structure.
Really stupid.
Everything about this project defies all logic for the future of us all in the planet.
Yeah.
It's all paid for with taxpayers' money, and it's not a magic money tree. It all comes out of your pensions and savings, so you are actually paying for this ecological destruction with your money, your savings and your pension. So.
And at the very time we should be doing everything we can to safeguard what's left.
When we should be planting trees.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is destroying.
What do you think of the fact that they've started felling up here in Staffordshire? And Staffordshire's actually north of Birmingham, isn't it?
That's what I couldn't understand.
Yeah, why is that? I don't understand the route.
No. It's like doing it so it's too late then.
Yeah, it starts to look as if there's something going on here, doesn't it? It's money.
Yeah.
It's all about money. It's not about improving the rail network. It's not about giving people access to good public transport.
Yeah.
It's about money, isn't it? Basically, and you just get the impression here that that the tree fellas, that they must be subcontractors, mustn't they? And they're just cutting down as many trees as they can while they can, because it doesn't matter to them whether Yeah, because they can, and it doesn't matter to the people who are doing the tree felling whether the line ever gets built or not. What they want is their money. Quick return. Yeah, quick return on their tree felling. So it's absolutely criminal.
It's wrong on every single level you could imagine.
Yeah.
There's nothing right about it, and the people have not had their say.
It's heartbreaking.
It is.
And yet, we have to find some positives, and the fact that people are connecting, they're coming out, they're letting people know what's going on, and they're connecting with one another, getting some fellowship out of this horrible tragedy that's happening.
You're high.
Yeah. So, yeah, earlier on, as I said, we suddenly saw a rather disturbing event when one of our tree protectors, who's been working in Crackley Woods and Covington and other places, and had come up here to give some support to this new site of protest against HS2, was rather brutally arrested, and I think we've got some footage of that for you to see right now. So I'll hand over to...
Just take a minute to appreciate this beautiful tall tree, which is at its end.
There it goes.
And it's gone.
Oh, is that? Yeah, well,
Good morning. So nice to see you. This Remble's just been standing, well not even standing, but walking by the gates eating a sandwich and more or less minding his own business, and he's now being manhandled by 4 police officers.
Right, if we put you in the van, are you going to go in nicely now?
And as the football disappears into the verge at the side of the road, and there's an impromptu samba band tutorial going on here, I'm going to hand you over now back to Covington, see what's happening up there. Bye for a bit.
Hello, my life. Yeah, hello, this is Michael back at Covington to give you an update on what's going on. I'm afraid things are a little bit less planned at Denham, where obviously a massive crack plan come together. Here you've got a mix of people, local people and Extinction Rebellion have come just to stop HS2. I think we haven't got much of an idea yet, but tensions are building. As you can see, loads of people are spreading out all along the fence and getting up onto the fences, and it's starting to become clear to everyone that we've got the numbers here, and it looks like we will be able to get onto the compound and do some more protesting a little bit more effectively. They're still chopping the trees there, unfortunately, where our camp used to be, Rugby Road Protection Camp, that was cleared on Monday. But that's unfortunate, but you know, we go again onto the different places. And I'd just like to come and speak to Penny here. Penny, are you okay to speak to on the live stream for just a little bit? Extinction Rebellion. Tell her. So Penny here lives in the South Covington woods over there, not in the woods, but she spends a lot of time there. And just tell us about what you've seen here, how HS2 behaves in general. Yeah.
Over the years or just recently?
What's the worst?
Oh, what do I do with that?
It's going to go near you.
Oh, well, the worst. Oh, I don't know where to start.
They're just aggravating little things, down to the right up to the big stuff with them. Tree grabbers in there yesterday and just snapping off limbs. And then I went and photographed the end of the day, and that whole bit this side is bare. Not the other side or the middle, but just the end. That's sort of a taster of what the whole thing's going to look like. So I did have a bit of a shock. I can just see the whole of the countryside outside. I can just see next to the village. I can see. Yeah, it's just all open, and it looks a bit like, it's just, I don't know what to say. The speed of it, I suppose, we know they're speeding up. They can do it really fast, can't they? So we've really only got this week, haven't we? Until, if we're honest, people are still making documentaries and trying to get. We need to get stuff out. We need to get stuff out. We need people. I'm telling people to actually write televisions today, write to the newspapers, write to the news channels today.
I think that'd be really effective because the media is really looking at this right now. And Matt Weston, the local MP for this area, or is it just the next one along? Matt Weston's a Labour MP, and he yesterday in Parliament actually demanded an emergency debate on HS2 and a review into the NET and the police force and their conduct in the HS2 policing. So that's really good. That follows an assault near here on Sunday by one of the NET commanders and 3 other NET officers when Extinction Rebellion came to support us. It was really bad. They went to the NET hotel just to see how many vehicles were there, to give us a heads up how many might be here to evict us here the next day. Thank you to them for going, but unfortunately the NET basically trapped them and beat them up. It was awful.
Yeah, apparently there's footage from the CCTV.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like a slam dunk conviction if there's that much evidence. So.
I think some of them have got suspended.
There's been 4 NET suspended, which is good news. And you can see here today there's some really young members of the NET. Some of them look no older than 18 years old. Probably brought in because the top lads have been pulled off the case. Penny, thanks for speaking. Penny lives just over there, and her family own the land that is over there, basically, because HS2 still haven't paid, have they? At this point, have they paid you anything, HS2?
He actually owns a bit of South Covington wood it's going through as well, and they haven't valued it and they haven't paid.
So they've taken it, they've deforested it, but they haven't paid for it.
The thing that worries me is that apparently HS2 don't count a certain width of tree. So maybe they're not going to value it properly because they don't count all the trees. If they don't consider something like that we consider quite a big tree as an actual tree. I really need to look into this.
Their definition of a tree, that's really interesting. But obviously they say they're planting 7 million trees, but none of them will meet that definition, will they? Perhaps the trees they're planting don't even meet their definition of a tree.
They're not growing them, are they? They're just planting them and then leaving them.
Thanks, Penny. Right, so things are heating up. Hopefully you come back to some more action later. Thank you.
Okay. Hello everyone, this is Alice with Extinction Rebellion here in Euston, outside, well, right next to Larch, who is in a tree just behind me. That is, on that sign it says, "Stop HS2 destroying wildlife homes, nature and water." If you've been watching with us today, you will have seen evidence of actions going on throughout the day in different parts of England, trying to put a stop to this railway, which is, like this sign says, destroying all of those things. And the people committed to making that change happen, to preventing this railway going ahead, is absolutely incredible. Larch has been in this tree for quite a while now. He's done this a few times. He's sleeping in there. He's eating in there. He's getting food passed up by the local people that live nearby, many of whom I've been speaking to today, and they've been saying, you know, this is ridiculous. This is one of the limited green spaces that we have in London, and we're in a climate and ecological emergency, so what is happening? If you are watching at home, please do share this with 5 other people who perhaps aren't part of Extinction Rebellion. We don't want to be preaching to the choir here, and showing evidence like this, where you're seeing all of these trees
being taken down here, and also in 108 ancient woodlands and almost 700 different sites of wildlife sites around the UK. This is one spot in London where we're talking about this today, and also there are other protesters over in the centre of Euston by the train station, asking people to get involved, hanging out flyers, saying enough is enough. So if you are with us today in London, do come and join. We need as many people as you can, and do come and see why Larch is in the tree. He's very happy to come and talk to you. It's really nice, actually. Earlier I saw some people shouting out at the tree saying, "Good job, nice to see you here, thank you," and one of the locals coming out and passing him some food, which is fantastic, and not always the case, as you've seen in other locations. This has been something that has caused a lot of contention during these protests, is that not only is this incredibly planet polluting, I'm going to walk around now and see if I can see Larch from the other side, but also it's destroying human lives too, not only because of the destruction of the natural environment, not allowing space to be in green spaces, and destroying people's homes. Well, that is exactly it, displacing people as well as animals. So I'm going to walk around now and see if I can see Larch, and see if I can tell you a bit more about HS2 as we go. As you know, many of us have been around going to the different protest sites for a long time. I've been to Denham myself, and the stark difference between what it's like now versus what it was like when I first went down there is horrific. This HS2 proposal has been put in place about just over 10, maybe 11 years ago now. It's been contested since the beginning. It's not just HS2 Extinction Rebellion protesters that are involved. There are protesters from StopHS2.org, all these different organisations coming together saying enough is enough. You know, we're in a climate and ecological emergency. We've just had our Prime Minister tell us that he's going to protect 30% of land, but that land cannot be, or 30% of nature, I believe, or 30% of green spaces, something like that. If you know the facts, please put it in the comments so that other people can hear about it. And it's not good enough when just to tear up old and important pieces of land and place them instead, or replace them with new and biodiversity deficient sites. That's absolutely not good enough. So here's a few reasons why HS2 is absolutely not something we should be supporting. There's many, but these are a few that Chris Packham, one of the people spearheading the anti-HS2 campaign, has been saying. In his area, he's been part of Wildlife Rebellion. If you're not aware, you can follow that very easily online. And he released a statement explaining some of these things that I'm about to tell you again. And there's lots of this information is on the internet. I interviewed Chris Packham last year about this, or earlier this year, and some of the things that he highlighted, as have many campaigners across this horrific situation that we're seeing, where nature is being destroyed. We're in a climate emergency, obviously, first and foremost, and this is something that needs to be addressed, and addressing it does not include tearing down the limited amount of trees that we've got here. Right now, I'm in Euston, opposite Larch. Let me see if I can show you. Larch is a doctor in a tree. He is a doctor of environmental sciences, I believe. And I spoke to him earlier today, although the audio quality was a bit too poor to be able to talk to you much about it, but that's him in that green tarp there in front of a sign that says "Stop HS2 Destroying Wildlife Homes, Water, Nature." And the reason he's in that tree is because he knows he has been educated. A lot of us aren't privileged enough to know the true damage that these sorts of things are costing our environment, but he does. He said we've got about 3 months to enact proper change, and beyond that we're hitting unknown territory, or known territory in some ways, of total devastation. So destroying our landscapes is just not on. I'm going to have him behind me actually while I move around, and then maybe you can see. That's the park that I'm by now. You can see this block of flats. This is the only green space that they have without going for a long walk, and it's being taken away. And that's what one of the parents that I spoke to earlier about this was saying, that she's concerned for her children. There's less and less green space, and that's something that's so important. So there's also, just to put some in perspective, what that consequences of those these big planet polluting projects like HS2. It's one of many, unfortunately, that are going on around the world at the moment, but we have control to try and stop that here. So we need boots on the ground to make that happen. At the moment, we've lost about 68% of the world's wildlife since 1970. We know that. That's huge. That was released in a Living Planet report recently. We also have the slightly more positive news of Project Drawdown UK released, which explains the positive and important impacts we can make if we follow the science and follow the technologies we know exist right now. So we do need to do that. We need to do that with urgency. And if you're watching this and you've got eco-anxiety, what Larch was saying to me in that tree earlier today was something that's really helped him is being able to get out there and make a difference and actually be in the trees and actually speaking to people as they walk past and being able to do something, because that isn't a privilege afforded to many people. And it's something that really does help these things stop. The lady that I spoke to, who was in this building that I'm right next to here, the mother of two, she was saying she's written a complaint to the council. She's asked for change. She said, at the moment, two of my children are sleeping in the same room because I've been told that if I want to change my situation, I have to swap with someone because of the point system. She said, how on earth am I supposed to swap with anyone when no one's going to want to swap when they can see that this is happening outside her house? And that's just the tip of the scale for her. Some other reasons, of course, endangered species in London. But we're not privileged enough, unfortunately, because of the way London works and that it has become this concrete city in many ways. That we don't have some of these species that you're finding in other places. But behind the people, hidden in the forests, in quieter spaces, you're finding animals like willow tits, dingy skippers, Bechstein's bats, white-clawed crayfish, hedgehogs, barn owls. All of these animals I've just mentioned there and more, much, much more, are at risk because of HS2. And a lot of people have different reasons for being part of this movement to try and stop HS2 with Extinction Rebellion and otherwise. For me, it's absolutely that wildlife aspect. It's criminal that these animals are being put at risk because of a rail line that is not necessary. And there are alternatives out there. And here again, I'm outside this tree in London, and it feels very different to the experience of people over in places like Denham County Park, where you've got all of this wildlife that you can literally see flattened around you. You can see that here, but for Londoners, this is not a new sight. These concrete spaces, it just becomes another concrete space, but the consequences of this is huge, and that's what scientists are saying. And water as well does directly affect these people living in London. 22% of London's drinking water comes from an aquifer in Denham County Park, where that is currently at threat due to HS2. So the wide reaches of this issue is enormous, not simply on the short term, such as the water issue, which that's only the water issue with the aquifer. There's other water issues too. I wrote down how many litres of water HS2 is going through per day. Let me see if I can find that statistic for you now. It's millions of litres a day, but really it's something worthwhile looking up. It's absolutely criminal. And it's more than 100 billion of taxpayers' money as well. That's something you will have heard. So if you are tuning in today, please do follow this. Amazing. I've just been told we're going to go to Colne Valley in Denham now, so I'm going to leave you from this concrete jungle in London, and I would just say, have a look around me. Do you want the rest of the British countryside to look like this? This is absolutely not something that I think we want our world to look like. We want more green spaces. We certainly don't want to be chopping them down. So we're going to go over now to Denham County Park to see some of those green spaces where people are fighting for change.
And hello, Serena.
Yes, so here we are. We've been pushed back to the main gate at HS2. The other gate we went to was blockaded, so we couldn't get in there. So here we are back at where the beacons are, and I'd like to introduce you to a couple of rebels. So can you tell me about why you've chosen to write this particular placard? What's going on?
Well, it's just a crazy, well, everything's crazy at the moment, obviously, but financially, Boris is spending over £100 billion on HS2, which really isn't going to benefit many people. Yet, we're right in the middle of the COVID pandemic, and the NHS are struggling, people are struggling, their businesses are struggling, and the government are saying, where are we going to get this money, when they're spending over 100 billion on an HS2. So I'm here because just, you know, HS2 is just a ridiculous project in so many ways.
Yeah, we all agree.
Yeah.
And can I just introduce you to my friend who I do train talks with, and I bumped into her here today, and she's holding a particular placard that's very pertinent, I find. Let's see what you've got to say about this.
Scale, am I talking to you?
Yeah, me. Talk to you.
Because this is a train which is not for the ordinary travelling public. This is for business travellers and people who are flying into Birmingham Airport and want to get quickly into central London. It's not for the public. The tickets are not going to be affordable for most of us. And yet Boris is trying to spend. It's now 5 times the original budget. By the time it's finished and they've got the rolling stock, this is going to be close to 200 billion. And the money isn't there, it's all borrowed. And he thinks he can keep us happy by giving 160 million for new wind turbines. And it feels to me like it's like build a palace for my cronies and throw a handful of peanuts to the crusties to keep them happy.
Yeah, yeah. And then, thanks, Boris. 100 billion. So what have you got on your other side?
Oh, crashing nature.
And as you can see behind us, just look at this landscape of absolute devastation. It really is sickening.
This used to be trees, you know, they're chopping down woodland as if it was of no consequence. But this is a habitat for the last of our wildlife. Birds, bats, insects, mammals. They're just killing them. And you can't get them back. And then we're told, oh, it's fine, because we'll plant saplings.
Yeah, but we all know that saplings often die, and all these mature trees take hundreds of years to get to that state. It's just trying to fob us off with planting new when we should be keeping old.
Bats aren't going to roost in a sapling. Trees aren't going to nest in a sapling. As you say, hundreds of years down the line, these will be a wildlife habitat. But what about the interim?
Thank you. Just going to have a look over here. I think there's somebody coming down the structure. So we've got 2 people up there at the moment. So hi, how's it going at the moment? What's going on behind you?
Hi, so interesting developments. We've actually just had the NET team arrive on site here. And for those of you who don't know, the NET team are the hired help of HS2 who enforce things happening on their land. So they're not actually supposed to be here because at the moment our understanding is this isn't HS2 land. There isn't a legitimate eviction that needs to take place here. So we're curious as to why the NET team and the security have shown up today. It looks like they're interested in our structures. Maybe they fancy building some of their own. They're quite impressive. But we've asked the police to have a conversation with them, and just to be very clear that they have no place here on the site. Everything is incredibly peaceful. We had a little sing-song earlier, and our protesters in the structures are really, really happy, and it's great that we're continuing to be able to draw attention to this and to stop works for as long as we have. And at the moment, everything's going great. So it's still time to come on down. We plan to be here for a while. So the place to go on Telegram is the Extinction is Forever broadcast. And there are 2 of those broadcasts. You just look out for the little stag beetle emblem on Telegram and you'll find us. And that will give you details of how to get here. We do need more rebels to support. The more rebels we have to create this beautiful basket of supportive MBDA, the more comfortable that our guys in these structures will feel, and it's really important for us that they are supported. It's a beautiful day, we're in a beautiful place, we're going to have more singing, we've got lots and let's wake the government up to this trustee that is HS2 and get it stopped.
Should we have a quick look around and talk to some other people?
Yeah, come and talk to these guys.
So this structure has been here since 7 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, and we're just having a little lunchtime snack up there.
How are you doing up there?
Really good, thank you. Lovely day. On that side of the hall is very lovely, and on this side it's not doing so good, but that's why we're here.
Thank you, lovely. We love you. And these guys, they're not mad keen on talking to camera, but some of these guys have actually been living on the camps locally here at Denham, and one of the protection camps is about 2 foot underwater in the wet woodlands there at the moment, and it's absolutely horrific to see the beauty of the Colne Valley and the stunning chalk stream that is the River Colne being flanked either side by green fencing and earthworks and these sterile zones that HS2 creates. So when they come into a landscape, in order for them to be safe for construction, they make these massive swathes of what they call sterile zones, and that effectively means stripping out anything that's alive. So they take out the trees, they disturb the soil, they strip everything back so that they can have a safe construction site, and that's what they're currently doing all across this area and all across wet woodland in the Colne Valley. And I think it's great because we've got these medics just checking these guys out to make sure that they're happy, and the police have been facilitating our right to peaceful protest here, which at the moment has been great. I am slightly concerned that the Net team are just hanging around, but we'll invite them to leave and go somewhere else. And I think things are about to shift a little here. We're going to maybe invite our rebels to create some kind of tableau, maybe have a little sing-song, and just show these guys what democracy really looks like. And I don't know whether you've had a little scoot round to see the other guys up here. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have a little chat to Piers, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, to have a chat to the stream, Piers. How's it feeling up there, my love?
It's feeling quite open by the culture of the people here, of the rebels looking after each other and being and then over there, just the violence and the destruction. It's just horrible. This is really lovely. I feel so honoured to be here.
Thank you.
Thank my love.
Yeah. Who else can we see? Should we go and have a look at this one over here? We've got police across the front of the road, but I think people are still coming in and out at the moment. We've got arm locks on the bottom here, which is now being supported by a stool. So their arms aching. And another person up the tree. How are you doing up there?
Yeah, really good. I don't need a wee yet.
That's good news.
Yeah, it's good news.
It's an amazing structure. How easy was it to put up when you got here?
How was what?
How easy was it to put up when you got here?
Very difficult. Yeah, pain in the arse actually. Yeah, but we did it.
Well done. Okay, so here's the site. We've got 2 tripods still in place, and then we have 3 of these incredible structures blocking different gateways of the main construction site, and it's where all the trucks were held in this morning, and we're now moving on to the next site. So see you all later. They're going to be here for some hours yet.
Hi everybody, I'm here with the lovely Simon, who has travelled into Euston today. Would you like to tell us, Simon, where you've come from and why you've come here to Euston today?
I've come down from Bradford for legal reasons.
Sorry, forgot the mic. No, you need the mic.
I come down.
Go ahead.
I've come down from Bradford for a court case. I caught the 606 out of Bingley, which is a place close to Bradford. I was here for 10 to 9. I've got a suggestion for people who think that HS2 is a good idea. Why don't those planning on catching the train just get up an hour earlier? It won't harm the trees, but it'll save an awful lot of trouble and expense, and it'll also do a lot of very rich people out of further enrichment, because you've got to question why this plan is going ahead. It makes no sense at all.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Simon. Thank you so much. God bless. Thank you.
How do I catch that? How do I can I catch that on YouTube or anything like that?
Yes. I think it will be on XR, on Extinction Rebellion. But before you go, if you would go and see Anna and exchange details with her, then she can tell you all of that. Thank you, Simon. Thanks. So give him my number. Give him my number. Alice. No, Anna. Yeah, take my number. So we're gathering here together for the Samba, and also I think we have some witches gathering. There's going to be a performance. Hello. Pardon me? Anyone got any stickers? Somebody does over there. Yes, that man with the, I think he does with the backpack. Yes, hi. This is bye from Euston for now. The performance hasn't started with the witches, and we're off to Covington.
You're not wearing a mask, mate. Look at all these people who come out today to show the injustice of this government. Nobody wants this project. It's absolutely insane. All these workers are being employed to destroy our beautiful countryside. And it's happening right now. This lady is detaining me at the moment. This guy hasn't even got a mask on. We've all come out and we're complying with the COVID regulations. She isn't and he isn't. I'm not making it personal, but you have to yourself up.
Thanks, Victoria. So yeah, this all used to be farmland, all this land here. It's gone fallow since then because HS2 have taken it and for ages done absolutely nothing with it. So they've taken the earnings away from this farmer, still not compensated for him, even now that they're now felling the trees and stuff on his land as well. And this is the same story up and down the country. It's a massive land grab. You can see that their fencing goes all the way down to like that building in the distance there, and actually then goes, their compound goes all the way up to the town in that direction. What's crazy is the track's coming this way. So why is the compound so wide? It's because they want more land. It's because they want to chop more trees. And Michael Mansfield the other day asked a very interesting question in Leamington Spa. He said, what are they doing with the wood? What are they doing with the wood? Because these oak trees behind us, They're very valuable. And the more that they cut, the more they can sell, and the more money they make. And every part of HS2, we see people trying to extract wealth from the taxpayer. Where is the wood going? So if people could answer that question, that'd be great. We're finding it very difficult. If people could follow the wood trucks, or if they know the answer, get in touch. I suspect that some of it is going to biofuel companies to help the government meet their targets on that. And things here are still quite tense. A lot of people have been climbing up on the fence and making a runner for it. We just need to do it all together, I think. We need more people. If you're nearby, please come join us at Covington. If you're near to any of the other protests that are happening right now at Denham, in the Colne Valley and in Euston, just head down and be a part of it. And you know, even if you haven't got that much of a plan like we haven't, it's still worth it. We're occupying so much of their resources right now, and they are not working in the compound because of that. Although they are still felling my tree. Sad times. You know, it's not just about the landowners as well, the people who've been dispossessed of the land. All the spaces are owned in a way by the people who live in them, and by people I mean not people, or not humans. I mean birds and bats and badgers. We observed in this area, and we were living in this exact spot. We saw owls, we saw bats, we saw a badger latrine. You know, we've seen mice and all sorts of animals in this area. Lots of different birds as well. In those trees, just days ago we were living there, we could hear the birds in those trees, and now their homes are being destroyed. In a way, in the time that HS2 took this farmland, they temporarily did actually help the local ecology, because this field has been left to grow full of insects, spiders and crickets and stuff, and would have been great feeding for the birds and the bats. But now it's all going to be turned into a concrete something. Damn. We'll be here all day. Yeah, we'll be here all day, so I'm sure I'll see you guys later. Heading now over to Euston.
Hello, this is Alice in Euston. Thank you for passing that over. Isn't it amazing to see all these beautiful green spaces? Unfortunately, I'm not in one. I'm in London, and as we were just talking, this is unfortunately London's an example of what happens when you do things wrong and you take up all of the green. We've got very, very little green in London, and it's amazing to see people fighting against that in different parts of the UK. And here too, there is some still left. We're on a patch of green here where there are lots of people now starting to gather separately, social distance. Obviously, I'm not wearing a mask because I'm far away from them, saying, look, this is precious, this green space, please don't take it, not just here but elsewhere. And earlier I told you about one of the residents outside of one of the tree felling areas in London, in Euston, where Dr. Larch, who's a doctor in environmental sciences, is sitting in a tree telling residents out their windows about why he's there, and it's making a huge impact. So I wanted to show you now that interview that I did earlier with one of the residents who thinks what Larch is doing in a tree outside her home here in London to protect the limited green space that she does have is a pretty good thing. So let's go to her now.
Hello. What's your name? Would you be able to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name's Carol, and I'm a resident in Cartmel Flats, which is just behind me, and is currently looking after your chap in the tree.
And how do you feel about the chap in the tree?
Oh, I just hope he's lasts a long time up there, because for the last few nights over the last weekend, we had them out there butchering them trees with chainsaws in the middle of the night, keeping us all up at goodness what time it was, 1 o'clock in the morning, gone beyond that, and it's just not right. You know, the whole thing of HS2 is not right. We are casualties in this block of flats. The other blocks have been pulled down, and and new ones have been built when they've been rehoused, and they're just not doing anything for us residents in that block. I currently live in there with my husband and my teenage children. One's 15, one's almost 18, a boy and a girl, and they're still sharing a bedroom. And we can't get out because we don't have enough points, and Camden just expect us to swap with somebody. But who on earth in their right mind is going to come and want to swap and live here? It's just ridiculous. And Camden are not giving us anything extra for that, nor a HS2. So we're just absolute casualties of this. They've chopped all them trees down out there for no reason. I know they've got to get to the utilities, but for just to get to Birmingham and beyond in a shorter space of time. They're just taking up all of this surrounding area, and it really just isn't fair.
And I completely hear you. Thank you so much for talking to me about that. It's about capacity as well as speed, trying to increase capacity.
Yeah.
There are alternatives.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this in the context of the climate and ecological crisis, that we're chopping down trees and destroying landscapes and disturbing you outside your home?
Yeah, it's just for just to get more people up on the right, and everyone's working from home now, especially because of the current situation with COVID. People have just seen that that's probably the way forward, and I don't think there's really the necessity for all this extra capacity going forward. Really, it's going to be in the future, and things are technology is just going to improve even more and more, and that's with COVID, that's just sort of demonstrated that as well. So I really don't feel there's a need for it at all.
And how does your family feel about this? Obviously, you said you've got young children.
Well, they're teenagers, but they're just, they're trying to do their studying and get good qualifications and stuff, and they're just getting disturbed all the time. And they can't. There's nowhere to go. Nowhere out here for them. It's just not fair. It's, just not fair at all.
Yeah, they're destroying some of the small amount of green spaces you've got.
Yeah, as you can see, it's very limited as it is, and every little bit of green space that there was, they put up the new housing to rehouse the people that have been displaced by them pulling it down. So yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to me. Is there anything that you would say to anyone at home that isn't familiar with HS2?
Yeah, just look it up. Make some investigations and get your own opinions and read the press, etc. Just don't dismiss it as oh, it's not us. Doesn't involve us, but it involves everybody. And we're human beings. We need to be looked after and treated well as the trees.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And just to reiterate, this lady that's talking to us here, thank you very much, is actually not part of Extinction Rebellion, simply watching on the doorstep of Larch over there in the trees. And thinks what he's doing is a pretty good job. Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Hello, we're back in Euston Square now. That was an interview earlier with a lady outside, one of the residents of a flat outside where Larch is camping in a tree right now trying to prevent HS2. As you can see, actions are changing here. You've got banner behind me. We're going to be coming back to London in a bit, but for now, over to Lichfield, where someone has climbed on top of a digger to say enough is enough. Here we go, over to Lichfield.
Hi and welcome back to Lichfield, where we've got this brave protester has climbed onto a digger. He's somehow got inside the compound and climbed onto the digger. Hi!
Hi!
How you doing up there?
It's alright, as you down there.
How easy was it?
Pardon?
How easy was it?
Very.
And why have you done it?
Stop them from stepping all this down.
It's really shocking, isn't it?
Yeah. You look that way.
You don't need to identify yourself and your hands here. No. What you have to do is like what you see of it.
I love it. Yeah.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Well, thank you, and good luck. And so we've got some, we've got some interest here from the HS2 staff. But you can see further down the compound, the work is still going on. Where we saw that tree felled earlier this morning, they're now picking up the pieces and just moving it all around as if it was matchsticks. And we've got some more protesters here who've come to meet. Yeah, so as we talk, hi. What's made you come here today?
Try and save the trees for the wildlife, try and protect the area, try and stop them from chopping it down before it's too late.
What do you think about trespassing onto the...
As long as we can stop them from chopping the trees down, this destroy the little creatures, then we should be, because this is the ecocide, they're the ones doing the criminal damage. He's the one protecting them from criminal damage. All the little creatures. The Boris Johnson will listen for tomorrow, so they say.
Hello, welcome back to Euston in London, where we are live outside Euston train station. As you can see, there are some rebels in Halloween theme dressed up as witches, getting the attention of some of the public. Behind us we've got this sign that says HS2, accelerating pollution, which it absolutely is. So all of this is trying to get the attention of the people in the local area who can help make a difference and join this fight. Now, if you are in Euston today, please come and join us. I would just like to say as well, based on the other video from Lichfield, sorry that we had to leave there, but we did have some technical difficulties. We're doing okay here now for the time being. As you can see, there's quite a few rebels now with samba bands, so it is about to get a bit noisy. I am sorry if you can't read my lips here, if you are a lip reader. Unfortunately, because of Corona, we are having to keep our faces covered and keep socially distanced from each other. I'm going to see if I can go over and speak to somebody about why they're here just before the samba band plays. So bear with me just one quick second while I do that. I think Ali has taken some videos of that samba band that are about to play, and that's really important for really getting up the momentum here. Does anyone here feel comfortable talking on camera? Yeah? Okay, amazing. I'll just turn this round here. Hi, could you introduce yourself?
I'm the Power of Three, and I'm on the internet.
Amazing. And why are you here?
Well, I just wanted to make HS2 feel the pain that we felt, like with them stealing our money and using it for their own benefit to get a higher paycheck. And they just feel like they can just squander the money on a pointless line that's basically replicating what we've got already, which is of anti-West Coast. And I just feel like, what is even the point of HS2? It's not going to be finished until like 2016 or whenever, and just wasting people's money, time and effort. And it's just really, they're not thinking about other people's implications and stuff. Like, they're not thinking about people that are homeless or don't have too much money.
Or the people whose homes they're taking, really. Okay, Rob, we're going to thank you for talking to me. We're going to go over to the samba band now, who's just playing behind us. Oh, thank goodness. Hello, everyone. Just to let you know, if you are joining us and you're listening to the samba band in the background, you are tuned in to the Extinction Rebellion group over here in Euston, one of several different locations around the UK where people are trying to raise awareness and say, do you know about HS2 and the environmental crime that's going on there here in the UK? We just had, we're in a moment of huge momentum. We're in the middle of a pandemic where more of us can have time to pause and see what's going on more than ever before. We've had David Attenborough telling us we must do everything we can to halt further biodiversity loss that impacts us all. We've had from even Boris Johnson acknowledging that we need to be protecting more of the world's green spaces. Yet here in London and elsewhere across the UK, you can see that that is not happening. This is what today is all about, putting a spotlight on that and saying, these words that we're hearing, please don't think that there's action attached to it. These are just words, and we need to stop them being just words. We need it to follow with actions that mean something, and that includes not destroying ancient woodlands, of which there are over 100, there's 108 ancient woodlands, almost 700 spaces of wildlife protection that are going to be completely destroyed by HS2. There's an aquifer that 22% of the people in this city that I'm standing in now rely on that aquifer for water. 22% of people, that's at threat right now, alongside the life of all these creatures that live in the woods and the forest where the trees are being felled. Trees are absolutely critical. They were here before us. Trees and algae are the biggest consumers of CO2. When you just take the CO2 out, when you take the trees out of the ground, you take with it the CO2 that tree has captured. What the consequences of those are, that is, for us and our environment, when we're already in such a depleted state around the world, is absolutely enormous. Now I'm going to take you back to the samba band now here. I believe Ali is showing you around, and I'm going to see if I can speak to some more people and get their perspective as well. Now, if you're watching this and you're not in London and you want to get involved, there's a few things you can do. One of those things is share this video and let them know that this is happening around them. And maybe if you do have the time or the privilege to be able to go down to one of these HS2 sites, please do. Your help is needed there. Rebels are needed all over the place. You don't have to be with Extinction Rebellion. You can be with any movement. You can be independent and just wanting to stop your environment turning into this area that I'm in London. Look around me here. I'm surrounded by concrete. This is not what we want. This train station. The only green I see is on these walls behind me, painted on, plastered onto the walls, these 8 green spaces. This is what we're looking at in the future if we don't do something. So let's talk to one of the protesters behind me here, who has fire signs saying HS2, accelerating air pollution, because that is the case right now. Tens of thousands of people die a day due to air pollution. I think it's about 90,000 people die a day because of air pollution across the world. This is going to be causing huge amounts of air pollution. HS2 will not be carbon neutral for over 100 years. What kind of future does our future look like if we're willing to invest in projects like this? So let me turn around and speak to this lovely lady next to me about why she's here. Oh yeah, would you mind talking to me about why you're here? Is that okay? Would you mind about why you're here? About why you're here, is that okay? Yeah. What's your name? Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Carol. I'm from Norfolk. I just feel the whole thing is madness. Yeah, we in the study at Extinction, got 62% of biodiversity already, 60% of life on Earth is gone. We're all going, and in the midst of it, we're chopping down trees in Euston Square Garden. You know, it's madness.
It's madness.
I can't even begin to understand how the politicians can be thinking, you know.
If you could say anything to them, what would you say?
I would say, Oren, you've got children. What are you doing? What sort of world do you want these people to have? You know, 7th generation from now.
You know, the rate we're going, there will not be no trees. So please, everybody just stop. Anyone who's got any power, stop the madness.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You heard it there. Stop the madness, boys. Please stop the madness. I beg of you, literally a woman here begging for Boris Johnson to make changes that are important, and that involves saying no to HS2. Well, my mask has come down, so let me adjust that. Although I'm by myself now, so it shouldn't matter too much. Now we're going to go from Euston here, where we've got a samba band making a ruckus, trying to say, hey, HS2.
Okay, we're ready. Yeah, we're ready. Hi, we are here at Denham construction site. These people have been here since 7 o'clock this morning. This is Roly. Hi.
Hi.
How's it going here?
Yeah, it's going pretty well at the minute. The police have sort of upped their numbers in the past hour or so, sort of coming round, trying to speak to people. They seem like they're trying to convince people, like ground support, to leave. But so far, I think it's went pretty well.
So you're locked on around a bamboo construction. Do you think you might get arrested? And why are you prepared to do this?
For me, I think it's necessary. The future of humanity is at stake, and HS2 are actively decimating ancient woodlands that are older than me and older than anyone that I know. And I just truly believe that it's of paramount importance that we do all that we can to stop these ecocidal crimes.
You've got a survival blanket on now. It's cooled down a bit since this morning, and yeah, the sky's gone from blue to grey. I think these people are going to be here for some hours yet. Yeah, what's going on behind you?
So behind me is one of the entrances over past into the compound. Security and police have been there all day, and they seem to be guarding the compound. We're not quite sure what's happening at the minute, but I think they're doing maybe a changeover of security in the police.
And the area behind it looks like it's just crater. There's no wildlife there. How do you feel about all that?
I think it's absolutely heartbreaking. It shows the extent of the damage and the devastation that HS2 are going to cause. These areas are the closest things that we have to an Amazon, and they're actively decimating it and ripping our futures from beneath our feet.
Are you comfortable where you are at the moment? How are you feeling?
I'm surprisingly comfortable, yeah. It's been a long day, but surprisingly comfortable.
And also we had Boris Johnson talking about the biodiversity and talking about how important it was. Do you think he's acting on his word?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Boris Johnson is all word and no actions. He is actively backing everything that is against saving the future of humanity.
So you've got a vehicle, I think they're playing around with the gate behind you. Not sure if they're going to try and get a vehicle out. Can you tell me a bit about the structure? How easy was it to put up this morning?
The structures are very, very complex. The police still are bamboozled with it. They have no idea how to get people down. I think they're an absolute work of art, really.
Yeah, I do. That's great. Thank you. Good luck. Just going to wander around, go and visit the other pods. We have somebody up above us. They're sitting in a climbing seat up there. How are you doing up there? Hello. How are you? Well, the helicopter going overhead. I can't hear them. I don't know. I could repeat your words. Doing really good up there. She's been up there since 7 a.m. this morning, so it's quite a few hours to be perched and balanced on this structure. How secure does it feel up there?
Yeah, it feels secure. It's like bubbles, but it feels secure because I have all these
it feels wobbly, but the ropes are making it feel quite secure. But she's pretty high up there. And you can swing around. That looks fun. Oh my goodness, and it all jingles and wobbles when you do that. Yeah, she's got a view of the construction site on the other side. I don't know if you can see that if I hold my camera up, but it's basically just just bare earth and piles of earth around there.
And I keep seeing them like tipping like black dirty water into this like water here. It's really horrible.
And they're tipping black dirty water and moving that around inside that construction site. They're trying to get a vehicle past. They just managed to squeeze through between the fencing and the structure.
And that side is really beautiful.
Oh, and the other side, if you go over this way, you can see over there. So the other side of the road there is trees and wildlife. So yeah, that's the diff. You've got another tripod. You can see two more of these constructions over there. And then there's on the other side of that is wildlife. So it's that close to all of this huge decimation of the whole swathe of the countryside going through the UK. Thank you. Okay. So it's all going well here. We've got all the structures are still in place. We've got quite a few police over in this area. This devastation cost 12 billion and saves no CO2. How awful is that? So I'm going to sign off from here for now, and we're going to go and watch a video of the action from earlier on. Signing off for now.
Hiya, my name's Janet. I'm here up on one of these amazing structures, goodness knows how they put it together, at gate C. I'm just going to show you what the view's like. So there's the gate, and then around you can see behind me here, hopefully that's the devastation that they've already wrought over here. So we're at Denham, and Denham is a country park, and it's currently being raised, a large part of it, for HS2, which is this high-speed railway, which has been given a red warning by the government's own audit committee for costing far too much money. It's set to impact on 108 ancient woodlands, so we're just trying to do everything we can to stop this. We have to stop it. We've got hardly any forests, and especially ancient woodlands in this country as it is. So that's what we're doing here. I'll just show you down below here. I really can't drop this phone. I'll be in so much trouble. We've got our lovely lock-ons down there. So they're keeping me company. Yeah, that's about it. So please write to your MPs. Tell them about that you're not happy with this wanton destruction of nature. James's Hill, that's one that's very close to my heart. Roald Dahl and fantastic Mr. Fox was inspired by that beautiful woodland, and that's currently for the chop. So we need as many people as possible, please, to help us with this issue. You can do it from home. Keyboard warriors, please just email your MPs, tell them that this has got to stop. We have to protect what little we have. Thank you.
Extinction Rebellion! Extinction Rebellion! Extinction Rebellion!
So right now we're blockading gate C, where they're planning on drilling a big tunnel as part of the horrendously destructive project that is HS2. It's the most destructive and costly infrastructure project in Europe and in UK history, and it's merely for filling the pockets of the rich with no ecological or financial gain. So it's financially and ecologically unfeasible. So we're protesting against this, and we're hoping that we get the word out on media and on press. Thank you very much.
This is an HS2 compound. The vehicles are all lined up, ready to go to work, but they can't get out of the gate today because it's blocked by Extinction Rebellion with a Stop HS2 demonstration going on today. They are not coming out of that compound anytime soon.
We're here outside the Chiltern Tunnel portal site where the Red Rebels have just walked through and are witnessing the events happening here. A stunning scene as the sun rises over the decimation of what once was beautiful, beautiful countryside. We're asking Boris to hold true to his pledge for nature, to protect what we all need to survive, to act now. In his own words, extinction is forever. We must act now without dither or delay. And that means stopping HS2.
Okay, so HS2 Rebellion are here today blocking this HS2 construction site near Denham because we are in a climate and ecological emergency, which means we don't have the carbon budget to spend on massive infrastructure projects. So aside from cutting down the trees, aside from the price of this construction project doubling and getting out of hand, we just don't have the carbon budget to spend for public transport that's going to be ready by 2040. We're going to be in deep, deep trouble by 2040 with knock-on effects of tipping points of the climate and ecological emergency if we don't act now. So we need to change our lifestyle, and we need to stop. We need public transport projects, but not massive infrastructure projects like this.
Lined up.
We're in the gateway of HS2 and we've got this structure up and a climber in place to basically block that gateway.
Yeah, and the police are just arriving. We've got one climber heading up and suspended up here. Can you tell me why you've come down today?
Well, earlier in the year I walked the whole of the HS2 line and saw the woodlands that are going to be cut down. I swam in some beautiful lakes that were just sort of full of wildlife. And we're in the middle of a climate crisis, and these are habitats that need to be preserved. You know, we can't afford to lose any of these places, let alone 108 in one fell swoop for a project that nobody along that line wants. Literally every single village or town that we passed through on that route, people came out and cheered and clapped us on. They just do not want this. Nobody who lives along the line wants this to happen.
Thank you very much. They're locked on. Tell me where you are and what you're doing.
Well, we're here today on a lovely Friday morning. The sun is rising, the moon is in the sky, and from my vantage point up here, I'm looking at a moonscape of human destruction over there on the environment. It looks like something out of Apocalypse Now. It is just obscene, the way these people think, the way this mentality of thought, of conquest over nature. You know, these people, they play Minecraft with our fucking world. This is our world, this is not Minecraft. These people want to play Minecraft, go and play Minecraft, but not here.
Thank you very much.
Let's remember our love for this beautiful planet that feeds, nourishes and sustains all life. Let's recall our love for the whole of humanity in all corners of the world. Let's recollect our sincere desire to protect all this for ourselves, for all living beings, and for generations to come. As we act today, may we find the courage to bring this sense of peace
and appreciation to everyone we encounter, to every word we speak, and to every action we make. In this emergency, together, rooted in love, we are all we need.
But one of the guys who's local said that before too long, because it's so narrow.
So how's it gone so far? Can you describe the structures?
Yeah, so the structures are made from bamboo and wiring, and they're sort of like really, really high, and they have climbers up them, and like lock-ons at the bottom. So far I think it's went really well. We've managed to block the gates with a little bit of resistance from security, but there's sort of more of us than there is of them at the minute. So.
What's your position to HS2? Why are people campaigning against it?
HS2 is seeking to decimate the closest thing we have to our Amazon. The trees in the ancient woodlands are older than me, and I feel like it is paramount that we stand against this injustice.
Thank you very much. So here we have a bamboo structure. People locked on at the bottom, people locked on halfway up. The gates are currently shut for the HS2 construction or the people who'll be trashing the countryside today are stuck in the compound. Don't think they're going to be coming out for a long time.
I think it's been about an hour. So far. We woke up early this morning and we came here, we built up the structures and then we carried the mover to be in front of the compound and stay here in protest against HS2. I joined this campaign maybe almost 4 months ago now and slowly learned even more every day how corrupt this project is. 108 ancient woodlands are going to be destroyed, 693 protected wildlife sites, hundreds of thousands of people's water supply is going to be potentially contaminated. HS2 are compulsory purchasing farmers' land, they're compulsory purchasing homes from people. The 75,000 jobs are going to be displaced. People have not been properly compensated. The list goes on and on and on. They are committing wildlife crimes. They cut down trees without doing proper surveys on them. There's bat roosts there, there's badger sets. The destruction here, this used to be beautiful lush woodlands and now it's just piles of dirt. And all for what? It's 20 minutes difference off your journey. This is an estimated at 230 billion in taxpayers' money. Why don't we put that money into the NHS, into current infrastructure and go into more impoverished areas in the country? We don't need this train. We don't want this train. We as the public need to take action and stand against it. So that's why we're here today, to block these gates, stop work for an entire day. There's other people on the other side and just show that we're not going to go down without fight.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Hi folks, we're here back again at West Hyde. We have this wonderful socially distanced assembly of incredible rebels. It's still chilly, the rain is coming in, we're just making sure our dwellers in the structures are really happy. But these guys have a message for Boris Johnson, and they have a message for everybody who hasn't yet woken up to the destruction of this project. It's been a hugely successful day so far. We are looking very positive for being able to hold this site for the rest of the day and doing what XR really do best. So thank you to everybody for your support, and thank you to everybody who's joined in the digital action to the images of Extinction is Forever everywhere, tagging in Boris Johnson grant apps and tagging in HS2 and getting that message far and wide. If you want any of those graphics, please go to the Telegram broadcast Extinction is Forever and you can get the media pack and the kit there. Look at the XR Instagram feed. You can use those graphics, share them, use the hashtags Extinction is Forever, use the hashtag Stop HS2, use the hashtag Stop the Harm, and get that out there if you can. This hashtag's trending and we can really make some noise, get it outside of our bubble. The more we can do that on social, the better. Thank you so much. And these guys have a message. Are we ready?
Yes!
Stop HS2!
Stop HS2!
Stop HS2!
Stop HS2!
Extinction is forever!
Extinction is forever!
Extinction is forever!
Extinction is forever!
Halt all deforestation!
Halt all deforestation!
For justice!
For justice!
For nature!
For nature!
For humanity!
For humanity!
For us all!
For us all!
Stop HS2!
Stop HS2! Stop HS2!
Stop HS2! We love you! We love you!
So fantastic
The
day here.
children have spoken. The earth won't be broken. I'll rise up. I'll rise up.
Okay, so we'll do a sign off.
So folks, the mood here is wonderful. The rebels are committed. They'll keep coming back and back and back until this project and all others like it that are a senseless destruction of nature and by anything that does not support our cause to tell the truth and to halt deforestation immediately and to fight for justice and what is right, not just in the UK but globally, for all those peoples that are struggling and suffering, and for those that will fear so much more and so much fear. People in the non-industrial nations that are already struggling with the injustice of everything we do in our most privileged West. We must be the leaders in this situation. We must show them how to truly greener future. We must help our government see the leaders that they can be. Thank you to everybody who's come out. Thank you to...
Hi, my name's Isabel and I don't like HS2 because it's destroying all the trees around us that help us to breathe and because it takes people out their home, plus it makes lots of noise.